Welcome to Film to Screen. We're Katie and Astrid, and we talk about movies, TV shows, and anything we're currently obsessed with. And today, we are talking about live-action remakes, because that is such... I don't even know what adjective I should use. It's an interesting topic to talk about because it has been a large discourse on Twitter, I should say, whenever it has been announced that a new live-action remake is in the works. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Well, you sound so enthusiastic about this topic.
No, I'm looking something up on it.
About live-action remakes?
No, yeah, I'm trying to look up, like, how you would define it.
Yeah, how would you define... Because it is... Some remakes, I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. For example, and we will be talking about it, the Little Mermaid remake. And then there's others that we will be discussing because I have my thoughts and opinions. The Lion King, 2019. I mean, technically it's not a live-action remake because it is fully computer animated. It is fully animated. It's not a live-action remake. However, we will be lumping it into this episode because it is one of Disney.
It's categorized
It's categorized as, I guess, a live-action remake. It's not live-action, it's animated, but it's one of the remakes that Disney has recently come out with, which Disney is just remaking everything these days.
There's others that they shouldn't. Because I was just looking up if it was nominated for visual effects in 2020, and it was. But it lost.
What did it lose to?
1917, but for 1917, you cannot tell those visual effects, and that's the point of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it deserved the nomination, Oscar nomination for visual effects. It's amazing how lifelike it looks.
And people getting mad at what Pumbaa looked like. And people are like, that's a warthog, people. That's what it looks like.
That's how warthogs look. Sorry. I think they're cute, but I think a lot of people don't think the same way as I do. But I also think that the way how it's so lifelike was a negative for the movie because the reason the animated film hits home for so many people is because of how, again, I'm just getting lost with my words today. The emotions that the animals show, whereas it doesn't come across.
Simba didn't look terrified?
Yeah, Simba didn't look terrified when Mufasa died.
No, when the stampede started, that's what.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the same scene. He didn't look sad when his dad died. It's that kind of thing. It was a negative in that way. But,
yeah,
I don't know. Where do you want to start with this topic? Like, because there's multiple things I want to talk about. I want to talk about our favorite live-action remakes because I do have some favorites.
Maybe we talk about ones that we want.
Yes, we
Possibly.
will be talking about ones that we would like. Our least favorites. And again, I will be talking about The Lion King. It will be happening. And then most recent ones that are upcoming that have just been announced. So I guess we can start with why Disney and other studios now are deciding to go the remake route. And
first and foremost, money.
Money. We live in a capitalist society. They're going for the money.
Yeah.
I got this idea for this podcast episode because Disney recently announced that
Moana.
Yeah.
So this is a funny thing. I realized that they were doing like their investor call, and that's where they revealed it. But it was so weird because it was like kind of came out of nowhere, and also it didn't help that at the same time, around the same time they were announcing that, they just like casually dropped that, because it's somewhat connected to this, is that there's gonna be a section of one of their parks that relates to Moana, and they're like, yeah, that's gonna be the end of the Epcot transformation. People are like, what? You announced things, but you're doing a live action remake instead?
And it hasn't even been 7 years since the original movie came
No,
out.
yeah. It should be a while.
This is the fastest turnaround.
Yeah.
For any live action remake. Like,
yeah, and they're really pushing Moana recently for some reason. And that's not a bad thing. It's just
not a bad thing.
Kind of
I love
surprising.
Moana. It's literally
here's the thing. Frozen has not gotten a live action remake yet. To put that into perspective and how big Frozen is, I'm surprised they have not done it. They're doing Moana instead.
I'm not surprised they're not doing Frozen yet. And I'm saying yet because I feel like
they will in like a decade.
Yep. They will in the future. But
also they haven't. What I'm surprised is that I would have thought, because they're retheming one of their rides to Princess and the Frog, I would have thought it would have been a idea for them to do a live action Princess and the Frog and then tie that in with that.
There were rumors that they are going to do the live action Princess and the Frog, and I don't doubt that they won't. I have a feeling they will in the future. I have a feeling they'll get to just every animated movie and make it live action. But
there's some they won't touch. And I'll talk about that's going to be a part of what ones I want to. Possibly.
And I have a feeling we have the same thoughts. But let me get back to Frozen. The reason they're not doing live action Frozen yet is because
Frozen still makes money.
It's Frozen still making money. And they're doing Frozen 3. Why
they just casually dropped that.
Why would they remake Frozen when Frozen 3 is currently in the works? They're not going to do that because the longevity, okay? They're going to wait until the popularity of Frozen dies down, and then they're going to be like, hey, live action Frozen, so that the popularity will go back up. So that's the reason they're doing Moana before Frozen. However, I think they should have gone with Tangled before Moana because they're doing, and it's been confirmed it's still in production, they're doing a Moana series on Disney Plus.
And I think Tiana's getting one too.
Yes, Princess and the Frog, wow, is also getting one.
Yeah.
But yes, there have been rumors about the Princess and the Frog being made into live action, and it was all over Twitter, and people were recommending who should play which character. The
person who voiced Tiana actually play Tiana.
How old is Anika Nani Rose? How old is she?
I mean, Tiana's implied to be in her 20s at least.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in my humble opinion, I think a lot of people agree with this, is that Coco Jones should play.
Oh, from Let It Shine.
Yes, from Let It Shine. That
pulling that one out.
That underrated DCOM.
And another actor from that is getting popular.
Oh yeah.
If any, you'll know.
Tyler James Williams.
Yeah.
Yes, on Abbott Elementary. Highly recommend the show. So good. But yes, live action Moana. And people were thinking that The Rock is the main reason this has come to be, is because Black Adam did not do so well at the box office. And so
the budget got put, because of reshoots and stuff, it got pushed up by almost $100 million.
Yeah, so it...
And Just saying, Warner Bros. Is going to take a massive hit this year, I feel like, because of all the, some other things happening, let's say.
And
So they're really going to be in limbo this year.
And so people are theorizing, I don't know if this is true, but that he's pushing for this so that he has something else to bounce back on.
Yeah.
It hasn't been confirmed that Alihi Carvalho is returning as Moana. I would love that. That would be the perfect casting because she's still young enough to play Moana. We don't know when this movie is coming to theaters. I assume it's coming to theaters with because it'll be a smash hit, no doubt. If you see what's happening with The Little Mermaid, it's going to be a smash hit. How are they going to do Tamatoa? That's my one real question. How are we going to do Tamatoa? They can't just. I'd rather be shining.
Do you want to know something funny about that?
What?
The person that voices Tamatoa is actually the villain in Men in Black 3. Same guy.
What?
Same person.
I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, I'm guessing. Since they announced it, that probably already means it's far enough into pre-production where they are confident enough to announce it. So my thinking is that it's gonna be in 25.
That feels so soon.
25, late 25 or early 26. Because I don't. I mean,
26 sounds more like it. Because remember, we still have other ones. Let's get into that. Hercules, which I'm really excited for. Okay, Hercules.
No. Because I feel like Hercules could go in 25 then. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at a thing of releases for
Disney.
No, just in general. So I'm like, where would they want to put? Basically, who do they want to put it up against?
Yeah. Hercules. Literally, like Moana, one of my favorite Disney movies.
Has your favorite song?
It has my favorite song, Go the Distance. Okay, one. This is an obvious casting choice.
Meg?
No, not Meg.
Hades.
Not Hades.
Who?
Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Danny DeVito needs to play Phil in the live-action Hercules remake. It needs to happen. Disney, you know what you need to do.
Who do you want to, who's, your fan casting?
Fan casting for Hercules?
Yeah, who's yours?
Okay, Phil, obvious. Which I think everyone is 100% agreed upon.
Most people agree on that, at least.
That Danny DeVito needs to come back to play Phil. Okay. This is where it gets interesting. Okay, so Hercules. And people love to do fan casts about...
There's still fan casting about other, Marvel-related stuff, even though we're going to get that casting this year.
Fan casting is fun. It's fun to choose who you think is going to play which character. Personally, and I have been saying this for years now, Hercules, I think...
Was that Goose?
Yes, that was Goose in the background. Hercules, I think, should be played by Jelani Aladdin.
There's a popular person, but I've heard most people put someone else.
Okay, I would like to hear that after I talk about this man. So he was in Frozen on Broadway. He played Kristoff. And then he played Hercules off Broadway. And the second I heard him sing Go the Distance, I was like, I'm sold. That's my Hercules. And so I know it's a very slim chance that he would be chosen, but that is my fan casting. That's who I would choose. Um, as for other characters, what would be really fun for Pain and Panic?
Who?
I think this would be perfect. Key and Peele.
Oh yeah, I think someone pointed that out because because they have a similar dynamic to a pair. It's King. It's the Bunny and Ducky.
Yeah, they play.
Yeah,
Bunny and Ducky
it's
in Toy
essentially
Story
a
4.
similar thing.
Yeah, I think that would be perfect. That dynamic duo. Meg. Now, a ton of people say Ariana Grande should play.
No, Ariana Grande is already
Megra.
playing Glinda.
She's already playing Glinda.
And that's nothing against Ariana. It's just you already got a big live action adaptation role.
Yeah. I really don't know. I think maybe it should be a newcomer. Similar with Hercules.
I feel like for Hercules, I feel like they would have to bring in a more A-list person because like the movie is called Hercules, so you have to have someone in the cast to bring people in, not just like a newcomer.
Maybe that can be Hades. Who do you think should play Hades?
Because like Hades has to. It's kind of a harder question.
Sorry. You were asking me.
Because like the person has to have like that certain like presence because of how the person in the animated one played him. You just have to have that kind of energy.
Yeah, high energy. I really don't know. See, I'm not like a big fan caster. I'm just like, I sit on the sidelines. I wait until Disney confirms. I really don't know. And I really don't know. And then another remake that has been confirmed and is currently in the works is Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, there's so much controversy going on with that
There
one.
has been a lot of controversy going on.
Like someone got casted and then they got fired essentially, and then someone got casted as that character, and who's playing Nani, people are mad about more at Disney. I think that because they cast the person more than the person they cast.
Yes,
it's like basically like because of the fact that it's based in Hawaii, is like the whole like people want someone with a lot of Hawaiian blood to play Lilo and Nani and like the other characters that are Hawaiian, which is why people are not so happy about Nani's casting.
Yeah. Yeah, so there has been kind of a lot of controversy with Lilo and Stitch. And then plus there was this image going around, which it's fake, but it's like, oh, this is our first look at Stitch in the live action Lilo and Stitch. It's fake. That is not how he is going to look.
I'm actually kind of scared about that part.
I wonder how they are going to animate Stitch. I'm wondering. I'm also wondering, is Chris Sanders going to reprise his role as Stitch? He was the director of the original movie, and he also played Stitch.
Which we will bring up another animated movie he has done that is getting another live action adaptation.
Mm-hmm. We will talk about that. But yeah, but someone was saying about that live action Stitch. They were like, "Oh my gosh, it's Max Rebo." Like from Star Wars. I was like, "Yeah, that's Max Rebo. He lives." Um yeah. Um and then I also want to talk about it's very soon, coming up very soon, literally coming up on my birthday. The live action Little Mermaid. I am so excited for it.
Yeah.
Um I know they released Part of Your World.
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to it until I am sitting in that seat in that theater. I want to enjoy it as a whole with the movie. I'm
With
so
the
excited.
movie theater speakers.
Oh yeah, with that surround sound, I need to hear it. Um I mean, the small snippet we got in the teaser trailer, um wow. Chill throughout my entire body. Um I wonder what the new songs are going to be.
I already know what the title of one of them is.
Yeah, see, I want to go in kind of semi-blind and just
Well, like if you please save the album on like a streaming service, it has the track list and you can see the titles of the songs. And I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't in the original, and that's the actor who plays a very big character. So that character's getting their own song. So that's one
and
of
you're
the new
talking about
songs.
Prince Eric. I know,
Yep.
because you were texting me and you're like, he doesn't have a song in the original.
I was
I'm
just
like,
checking with you, but I'm not saying anything about
no.
it and where it is
Yeah.
in the track list.
Yeah, don't I want to go in semi-blind. And this is where I want to talk about how Disney for live action remakes haven't been using songs from the Broadway productions.
Well, they can get away with it for Little Mermaid more.
Um which is frustrating. Why are they not doing this? So for example, Aladdin came out in 2019. They didn't use Proud of Your Boy, which was supposed to be in the original animated movie and then was cut and then was brought back for the Broadway production as it should have been because it's an amazing song. If you've ever heard it, it's beautiful. They didn't use these palace walls from the Broadway production. No, what they did is they created a whole new song called Speechless. And the reason they're doing this is because so possibly for Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
Which is funny because they haven't gotten a single one.
This is kind of funny. So the only live action adaptation that has been nominated and actually won an Oscar is Cruella. And but that makes a lot of sense knowing what the whole idea of that specific Cruella movie is.
It was for costume design.
Yeah, it was for costume designing, and the person who won, I'm pretty sure, has already won that same category.
Yeah.
Within the last decade.
They're not using these songs from the Broadway production so that they will create new songs for possible Oscar nominations.
But probably what they should do is make one new song and add one of the older songs.
That's a great idea because I know that Lin-Manuel Miranda is working on this he worked on this live action Little Mermaid, and so
I feel like they may try and push this one harder because it's like get him that PGOT.
I feel like they will. It's probably going to be the top movie of the summer.
There's other ones. This summer season it's like almost like June's packed, July's packed. Like it's like, what is this? What's this summer season?
I know,
because this year there's a lot of months with like every single week where there's like just big movie after big movie after big movie.
Yeah, for example, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 just released this weekend.
And that's the beginning of the summer season.
Yes, and as of this recording, I have not seen it yet, so I will
not spoil it.
yeah, no spoilers. I have
All I'm
not
gonna say
seen.
to you is that there is one part that I had to cover my eyes at.
That worries me. And I know I'm going to have to bring in a box of tissues. So, but we will be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in the very near future. So we will be talking about that movie. But yeah, well, I think Little Mermaid is going to be one of the top movies of the summer at least.
I feel
And I
I'm
feel like they will be pushing the new songs a lot for nominations.
yeah. What I realize is that because in the animated movie, Ariel does not talk for a good portion of it because Ursula takes her voice. So I'm like, is Haley really gonna like not talk for like half of the movie if they keep it like that?
Maybe they're gonna do it where it's her voice inside her, so you'll still hear her voice,
Like her thoughts.
her thoughts. Yeah, exactly. And then
Okay.
maybe if she is going to sing on land, which I feel like she is, it's gonna be like she'll sing, but she won't be singing to other people,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. I mean, we will also be talking about that movie because I'm so excited about it. Um, like this is one of the live action remakes where I'm really excited for. So speaking of that, I feel like we should talk about some of our favorite live action remakes. And I have my top 3 in no particular order. These are my top 3 remakes. Aladdin from 2019,
Yep.
Cinderella from 2015, and this is controversial.
What are you gonna say?
Controversial. Beauty and the Beast from 2017. Yes, it is one of my top
So-
live action remakes.
I just remembered this because I wanted to say this, but so yeah, like Disney's getting flack for doing this, like doing like the live action remakes. But I feel like so like they're doing Little Mermaid, and one like I feel like people are completely forgetting about that's happening in less than a year now. It's releasing in less than a year. Is a Snow White
Oh yeah,
remake.
I
But-
actually forgot about that a little bit.
No,
but
so-
yeah.
I get people are kind of upset that Disney's doing this, but like Cinderella, Snow White, Little Mermaid aren't Disney original creations. Like the stories were made long before Disney started making movies and being a company. So, like, there's other studios that have done different versions, particularly Cinderella. There's a bunch of Cinderella stories, and I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like it's just like, yeah, Disney's doing this and it's a little annoying, but there's other adaptations of the same stories.
Yeah.
It's just Disney's the most prominent.
Well, because Disney is literally the biggest film studio
Yeah, considering the
in
fact they got
the whole world.
Fox.
So yes, my top 3 live action remakes, and I'll go through a little bit of my thoughts on them, and then you can discuss yours. So, Cinderella 2015. This is such a beautiful remake, and honestly, I think it's better than the original. There, I said it. I think it's one of maybe 2 that's better than the original. The other being The Jungle Book. Oh, also Pete's Dragon, I should say. But yeah, Lily James as Cinderella, amazing. Kate Blanchett as Lady Tremaine, spectacular, superb. Oh, what's the actor's name that plays the prince? You know it.
Yeah, I know it. Let me.
Oh God, he's in Eternals.
He's in Eternals, and I cracked up at one scene in it. Richard Madison something.
Richard Madden.
Yeah, Richard Madden, whatever. Yeah.
Ooh, he is a handsome prince. Um, this is just one of the best remakes Disney
And the
has done.
costuming is very
The
good.
cost, her blue dress,
I think they had to take layers off of it because it was too
so
heavy.
pretty, and her wedding dress. I love her wedding dress. Same with Belle's in the live action Beauty and the Beast. I love Belle's wedding dress. It is amazing. It's better than her gold dress in the movie. But I also do love Belle's village dress. So, okay, let's switch to Beauty and the Beast because this is a controversial pick for me because there's probably no one, or maybe one or two people that would agree with me. So I think, okay, so I saw this movie actually at Disneyland, at Downtown Disneyland, because it came out the weekend that I went to visit Disneyland. And okay, so I gotta be honest here. So I actually fell asleep a little bit during the movie, but the
Because I
reason
think,
was
was it the same day you got there?
yes. So it wasn't because I was bored of the movie. Okay, it was because I was really jet lagged, and so I was extremely tired because we saw the movie at 9, I think,
Oh
California
my
time.
gosh.
So it was basically 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is what I was used to. So by the time the movie finished, it it was like 2 a.m. So I was so tired.
Yeah.
And that was why I fell asleep. Like I remember falling asleep a little bit and then I woke up during Evermore. Okay, let's talk
You
about
woke up
Evermore.
during Evermore?
Yes, Evermore. Honestly, one of the best songs that have come out of the remakes.
And
It
the
was
person
going
that
viral
got
on TikTok and I was like, as it should, because it is an amazing song.
and the person that got to sing the soundtrack version.
Josh Groban.
Oh. Yes.
Oh, beautiful. So I think probably a lot of the reason why I like Beauty and the Beast is because I saw it at Disneyland when I went there, so it probably reminds me of that trip. But also, I know her singing is not the best, but I think Emma Watson was a great choice for Belle. Um, I know she is auto-tuned quite a bit. You can tell that right at the beginning of the song Belle. Um, but also, I would like to point out, I think a huge reason why I like the Beauty and the Beast remake is because of how much they brought over from the original Beauty and the Beast film. And I'm not talking about the animated film. I am talking about the French film from the 1940s. So I actually watched that film in my French class, senior year of high school, that same year that Beauty and the Beast came out. And so when I saw Beauty and the Beast, the remake in theaters, I was like, whoa, they are taking a lot of inspiration from that original film. For example, the white roses. The reason the Beast captures Maurice is because in the original, he steals a white rose from the castle grounds, and he does that in the remake. He does not, however, do that in the animated film. So that's where point where they brought ideas from the original film from the 1940s, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, and like, because I know you're
And
gonna.
also at the end, I'm sorry, at the
It's
end
fine.
of the movie, when they're going through the credits, I really thought this was cool. How they had it in English, but they also had it in French. And the original movie and the original story, which is a French story, is called La Belle et la Bête, the Beauty and the Beast. And I thought that was really cool as well. So it was all that homage to the original 1940s film, not the Disney one, but the original and the original story. And I really appreciated that.
And another aspect of these live actions is that, which I feel like most people don't necessarily talk about or realize, is that because this is particularly about Aladdin, they can go more into depth about like the backstories, because I know a big contention of the Disney animated Beauty and the Beast is we don't necessarily know when the Prince Adam gets turned into the Beast, but we kind of get the idea of when that happened in the live action version.
Yeah.
So you can get more they give more context to some of the stuff, and that's particularly about Aladdin and why Jasmine's kind of trapped in the castle.
So I guess let's go to Aladdin, I guess, which is my third on my list of favorite remakes. Came out in 2019. I just think it's a really fun movie.
Also, I love how that secretly made $1 billion and no one really realized it.
Yeah, it made a lot of money.
Because it got what a term in movie theaters when a movie goes like stays in theaters for a while is like it has legs. So I know that Aladdin had a lot of legs. Like it was in like the top 10, top 5 for like a month, like months on end, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in theaters for a long time, which a lot of these remakes do very well at the box office, mainly because of nostalgia. But I think the reason
Which is another factor why they're making them.
Oh yeah. Aladdin was just a really fun movie. It was really fun. I had a fun time watching it, and it's kind of like a comfort movie. Like if I need to feel good, I'll put it on, and it's just fun. I do wish they brought some of the songs from the Broadway production to the movie, such as High Adventure, which is such a fun song. If you've ever seen the Broadway production, or
I'm hopefully seeing it later this year.
Oh yes, you will love it. And once you get to High Adventure, you will know what I'm talking about. It is such a fun song and sequence. But it's in my top 3 because of just how much fun I have watching it. So, would you like to talk about your favorites?
I would say take off Beauty and the Beast, and my top 2 are Cinderella and Aladdin.
Okay.
I can't think of a third one.
Okay, that's okay. So, why do you like Aladdin and Cinderella the most?
I completely forgot the reasons. Oh no.
Think on the top of your head.
I feel like one of the reasons is like the fact that again they give more background info.
They give more context.
Yeah, because in the live action Aladdin, they mention the reason why Jasmine can't go outside like the walls is because her mom was killed by a group of people, essentially. So like the Jasmine's dad's just afraid that that's gonna happen to her as well.
Yeah.
Which we don't get that in the animated version, but we get that here.
And similar in Cinderella, we get a backstory of Cinderella's young childhood and how she came to be to live with Lady Tremaine and her stepsisters, Drizella and Anastasia, and how her mom died. And it was her mom that gave her the quote, "Have courage and be kind," which we knew in the animated version that she was close with her mother. Like she even tried to wear her mother's gown to the ball.
The pink dress that gets turned into her ball gown dress, it was her mother's.
Yes, but in the live action remake, we got more of a backstory about her relationship with her mother, which I think was perfect to add into the remake. And yeah, I think that's one of.
Also, I feel like another reason. It's kind of a weird reason. The person that directed the live action Cinderella is, I'm pretty sure, is like a Shakespearean trained actor, which adds on to that.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about our favorites. So I think it is time to just rant for a little bit.
Oh, you forgot one that's coming up that I'm excited for. And hopefully they don't skew up a big part of it.
Which one?
You're kidding, right?
Oh, we're talking about How to Train Your Dragon?
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Well, if we're gonna
Half the
talk,
people that do the freaking dragons on like House of Dragons do it, and you're good. Those things. Those are actually awesome. And speaking of that, they actually House of Dragon took inspiration from How to Train Your Dragon, which is
see,
so
I've never seen the
funny.
show, so I wouldn't know.
I just saw that on Twitter once.
Okay, so we can talk about other studios that are doing remakes before
Yeah.
I rant. Okay, so I'll let you talk about How to Train Your Dragon because that is your wheelhouse.
One, it is. So speaking of, because I mentioned how it would have been small for Disney to do a live action, Princess and the Frog, and then have Tiana's Bayou Adventure open up a couple months later. I feel like that's what Universal is doing in some part, where they're doing the live action How to Train Your Dragon movie, and it's set to come out in March of 25. I'm pretty sure 2 months later, Universal is opening up a brand new theme park in Orlando with the park's biggest land being themed after How to Train Your Dragon. So I find that kind of interesting that that's actually happening.
I mean, Epic Universe will be opening before the remake comes out.
No, I don't think so. The
Really?
remake is coming out in March of 25. They have said that Epic is opening up in the first half of 25. So, but the road connecting to how the theme park is said not to be finished until the end of 24. And one of the parts of one of the lands can't open in 24 because that part of the land in Japan is said to be the first one. So I am assuming they're going to open it up in May of 25 because typically theme park rides open up in the summer months. Unless if you're Rise of the Resistance. Because, like, think about...
too much.
No, yeah. So, like, it's just getting to, like, the summer months for summer break. How many, like, rides and lands have Disney opened up in like, May through August? A lot.
Yeah. Okay. See, I didn't realize the movie was going to be released in 2025 before Epic Universe should be opening.
Also, I looked at a thing and it says that March 14th. If it does not move, it's March 14th of 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have fan casting for this movie?
Not yet, but all I want is them. I know that one of the original directors is coming back to like write and stuff.
That's good. That's a good sign.
And I'm not sure if the other director's coming back, but this ties into another live action remake. The people that directed the live action, the animated How to Train Your Dragon, are the same people that did Lilo and Stitch. And that's why some people compare Toothless to Stitch, because it's essentially the same character.
Interesting.
Like, I have a gif of Toothless playing a guitar, but it's actually just Stitch. They just drew Toothless over Stitch.
Yeah.
But I just don't want them to screw up how the dragons look, because that's a big part of the movie.
It is. Yeah.
Also,
right.
the fact that they have to show a character losing their leg.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be fun. If anyone's seen How to Train Your Dragon, you will know what that reference is.
Yeah. So I guess because you talked about that, I guess we should talk about recent news. A Harry Potter TV remake and a Twilight TV remake.
These came out like I think the same day or something.
Or very close.
They came out the same week, and it was like, where are you guys coming from?
Yeah. So I don't see a need for this.
I feel like I've said this to you, but I feel like the way they could have justified doing this is that, I mean, I get the idea of having one season of a show be for each book. because that's one criticism that people who are like diehard Harry Potter fans is that there's so much detail in the books that they did not get into the movies.
Yeah.
So I get the justification of like, yeah, we want to make a Harry Potter show where each season is one book because there's so much, and that's why I feel like if Harry Potter is one of the only series that kind of is justified to have a part 2 for its final book. But one way they could have, like, yeah, the problem mainly is that it's live action, and the actors that play the Harry Potter characters are so well known in that people associate those characters with those actors so much. The people who get cast as those characters are going to be hated on. But I feel
Yeah, I agree with that.
they could have gotten around it if they did an animated version where it's voice actors as the characters. Because I feel like that's an only way they could have actually really justified making it, not apart from the fact doing one book for one season. Because, I'm sorry, Alan Rickman was Snape. Like, I can't think of anyone other than him playing Snape. Because that's the main problem.
Yeah.
Is that because people are going to closely associate the main 3 actors who played the main 3 characters. So whoever gets cast as those 3 characters again are just going to get ridiculed. Just because they got cast as the characters. And again, we don't know when this is actually happening because there's a whole... Basically, like, writers are on strike at the moment, so it's like a lot of stuff's on pause, almost.
Yes, a lot.
So it's like, we don't... Anything that... I know there's been a Marvel movie delayed now. I think Abbott Elementary is going to get delayed. Basically, anything that did not have its scripts done before May will not be in production until the new agreement gets set in stone. So, but you won't see the effects of it for a little bit, but...
Yeah.
So, there's some... Basically, a lot of movie slates and probably a lot of TV show slates are going to get adjusted by a lot. If it does not get solved soon.
Yeah, which I don't know. It might be taking a while.
The last one, I think, took over 3 months.
Yeah. So.
And this has not happened in 15 years, so it's going to be interesting what happens.
But good for them. Good for them. They need good pay.
Yeah, because essentially I would argue one of the backbones of film and TV is the writing. Because if there's if writing is like a movie can't be filmed essentially without the script.
Yeah. I guess because we were talking about Harry Potter, maybe we should touch a little bit on the Percy Jackson TV series that is coming to Disney Plus, which the author...
That is safe. Because it's already filmed, it's done. I think it's in post-production now, so they'll just it's when the CGI gets put in.
Yes, so Percy Jackson, I'm excited. As a fan of the books, I'm really excited. I do. So I saw the movies before I read the books. They're not the best adaptations of the books, might I say. The author agrees with that. That's why they're doing this remake, essentially. And hopefully, I'm hoping they do all of the books if it's successful enough. As of right now, it's going to be 1 season per book.
Which is the same idea that the Harry Potter show is taking.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. It should be coming out. The first season should be coming out late this year or early 2024.
Yeah.
And I'm just really excited for this series. So, like I said, I saw the movies before I read the books, and then I read the books. I was like, yeah, they're not great adaptations. I still have fun watching the movies.
I
Logan Lerman is still a great Percy.
one thing about those Percy movies is that I did not realize who played Medusa. Uma Thurman played Medusa.
That's news to me. I
Oh,
didn't realize that was her.
so it's gonna be slightly hard in a way to watch the first season because of who they cast. Because the person, it was so weird because the actor had a movie coming out the week after, and the premieres were happening around the time. So I think Lance Reddick died a week before John Wick 4 comes out, and he's playing Zeus, and I thought he was just the perfect person to play Zeus because his voice is just like the right tone, the right kind of presence to play a live action Zeus.
Okay, I don't think I've seen.
I was actually,
anything.
I feel like you probably wouldn't. I'll look up to see if you've seen anything. But it was just like a massive like shock because of like just got announced in person, and I was really excited for it.
Yeah, it's really sad what happened. And I wonder how they're going to go forward with it. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just tragic. But if there's anything I've seen him in,
Have you seen hold on. IMDb, let me get down there.
come on IMDb, you've got
He
this.
he was in White House Down.
I
You've
don't
seen,
remember that.
but you
I've
probably do.
I've seen clips. I'm not gonna remember the movie.
He was he you probably would if you I could show you later at some point.
So I really don't know, and I'll be intrigued to see his performance. One of his last performances, probably, in the show. Okay, can I rant now?
Yeah, go.
So I have some beef with certain live action remakes. It all started with Maleficent in 2014. If you know me, my favorite Disney movie of all time is Sleeping Beauty. And when I found out they were doing, it's not a remake. It kind of is, but it's based
It's a reinterpretation.
reinterpretation. Oh yes,
That's the best way you can say it.
Of the character Maleficent, played by Angelina Jolie. I think she was a perfect casting choice for Maleficent.
I'm waiting for you
But
to go off.
what they did to the character, to her character, was abysmal. Okay, I got to give credit where credit is due. I do love the backstory of her and King Stefan.
Yeah, and
Because
it does give the reason why Maleficent put Aurora in the sleep in the first place. Kind of.
yes, and it takes us back to what we were talking about before, where we get more of a backstory with
Yeah.
characters and the story. But I do like how she was betrayed by King Stefan, and that was why she put a curse on Aurora to basically curse Stefan. Because of course, because he betrayed her, he wasn't going to invite Maleficent to Aurora's christening. Because in the original, we're like, oh, she's just basically banished, and she was literally the only one in the kingdom that was not invited to Aurora's christening. So I do have to give credit where credit is due, and that's where. But that's all. I mean,
Hmm.
Elle Fanning was a perfect again casting choice for Aurora. But what they did to Maleficent, I didn't care for it at all. I'm sorry. Some villains do not need a redemption arc. They don't need it. I don't care. Some people
And
are
Malef-
just that truly evil. And Maleficent is one of those people, one of those
yeah.
villains. And that's why so many people love her as a Disney villain. You don't need a redemption arc for all villains. And the way that they made her Aurora's true love's kiss,
That was
basically.
out of nowhere. And yeah,
Unnecessary. I'm sorry. That is unnecessary. I don't care. I do not care. And then why did we need to have a sequel? I know it made a lot
why
of
is it?
money,
Yeah,
and
why
that's
is it
why.
the only live action to get a sequel?
No, Lion King's getting a sequel. Cruella is getting a sequel. Aladdin should be getting a sequel. So it was just the first of its kind. But
Technically, it wasn't. There was
technically, what was?
Alice in
Oh,
Wonderland.
okay, yeah, Alice.
People
I'm
forget
sorry.
about that.
I
People forget about that.
well, probably because the sequel's awful. Um, they don't really have a great track record with live action sequels. But that I just have my beef with that movie, and people are always shocked that I don't like the Maleficent movie because I love Sleeping Beauty as a film, and Maleficent's literally my favorite Disney villain. That's why they ruined her character. They messed with that perfect formula for the character, and it just shattered. So that's my beef with
And we got
Maleficent.
no dragon.
Yeah. And then let's move on to another remake, which was more recent, and that is the Lion King 2019 remake. Okay, so I went to go see this in theaters back in July of 2019 when it came out, literally 2 months after Aladdin came out.
I did
Wow,
not realize that.
that's crazy. But so I went to the theater. Tell me why. And this is before they had seating arrangements. Tell me
No,
why.
I think my theater has senior arrangements.
Okay, but my theater did not. So let me talk about my experience. Tell me why this mother and daughter sat directly next to me when the rest of the theater was not packed.
Oh yeah, that's kind of weird.
And then the mother was singing. Literally, the second the movie started, the mother started singing the songs. I'm sorry. Are we at a concert? I didn't realize we were at a concert and not a movie theater.
Yeah, there's literally movie theaters for kids, and I'm assuming you're allowed to do that. Not
That was not this case though. And
yeah.
I get it. That was your childhood. That was my childhood as well. But do you see me sitting there in a movie theater singing the songs?
No.
No. No one should be doing this. This isn't a Taylor Swift concert. I I was like, "Huh?" So I'm sitting there confused. I was like side eye. Side eye. So that was already a great start to this movie. And then we get to Scar. And you know how he has this fantastic song, Be Prepared? You know
You
how
don't
they
do
have that
it.
in the anime movie? Why wasn't that in the live action remake? Why did we skip over that, basically?
I
Why did he
completely
not
forgot
sing
that
it?
wasn't there.
Why did he just speak the words of maybe a verse? What was that about?
Because I feel like one of the things most people one of the top 5 things people remember from the animated Lion King is "Be Prepared." So
I
that's so weird.
like
You
you have all
couldn't
the
get
other songs.
yeah, but like you yeah, I get it if the actor can't sing, but it's not like you couldn't get an actual person that's saying because you've done that before.
So
You've had different voice actors to the
literally,
singing actor.
I have not watched that movie since, and it is getting a prequel,
Yeah,
a
a prequel, not a sequel. A prequel.
a Mufasa prequel. Why? Don't know.
I think we were at Disney when they announced that. And it was like, huh?
I don't understand. It's coming out next year.
Yeah.
Will I watch it? Sure. Will I enjoy it? Most likely not. And then this is the most recent live action remake that came out, and that is Peter Pan and Wendy. Have you seen it yet?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm not going to include spoilers because you and probably a lot of people listening to this have probably not seen it yet. I
Maybe
don't.
never even heard of it.
Yeah, maybe. So it's the most recent live action remake of Peter Pan, the 1950 film. I thought it was dull. There was nothing to it. The only good part was Jude Law as Captain Hook. Um, that was really the only good part. He was just really good in the role. Everything else, just boring. Nothing to it. Um, I didn't really care for it. Like, we've had so many, similar to Cinderella, we've had a lot of Peter Pan
Oh
live
my
action movies.
gosh.
My personal favorite is Hook from the 90s. I grew up on that
Oh.
movie.
Oh
That
my
is a
gosh,
really
that's
good.
when people do not talk about that one.
And it was directed by Steven Spielberg, which I know is your
Oh.
favorite director.
I literally have a little section, like, I want to get all, like, physical copies of all of Steven Spielberg's movies.
And so that one will
And
have
I
to
am
be
working on
there.
it.
Um, and I don't think that movie gets talked about enough. Um,
Because it's a
and
grown up Peter.
yeah, it's a grown up Peter. That's a better movie than this. Have to say it. I would rather watch the animated Disney Peter Pan movie than this again. Um, so yeah, that is my beef with live action remakes. Have I seen the live action Mulan yet? No. Will I?
But
Maybe
you've
someday.
heard a song, at least. It was in
I just
one of the songs, they actually, I think they used one of the songs in Harmonious, so.
Oh, Christina Aguilera's
Yeah.
rendition of yeah. Um yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Have no desire to. That'll probably be me with the Lion King prequel next year. So because we talked about remakes that I don't like, is there any that you have beef with like I do?
I don't know off the top of my head. Because I didn't think of that.
Well, I know you're not as hard strong on these horrible remakes as I am.
I can't say anything about the Peter Pan one because I have not seen it
Yeah,
yet.
you haven't seen it yet, which you probably will have similar thoughts to me. Okay, so let's talk about remakes we would like Disney to remake.
I think there's one that we've talked about a lot and we know is never going to happen.
And which one is that?
Shouldn't have. Night at Bald Mountain from Fantasia. Like, they used they used that music in a fireworks show and they show him prominently in Fantasmic. So they know about the character.
And he showed up in Kingdom Keepers.
Yeah, it's like, you know this character exists. Just do it.
Yeah, what wasn't it announced that they were thinking of doing a Night on Bald Mountain live action movie?
I don't remember.
I really cannot remember. But one that I would love, and I know it probably would never get made, The Black Cauldron. Underrated Disney movie.
Yeah.
Underrated Disney movie, and I think it deserves a live action remake. I think the movies that really deserve the live action remake treatment are movies that didn't really do well at the box office. They basically flopped, and that includes The Black Cauldron, Atlantis, The Lost Empire, and finally, Treasure Planet.
Yes.
These movies,
I would want, like, literally those three are ones I want Disney to make.
these are the holy trinity of Disney movies that should get the live action treatment.
Yeah.
Because it'll create new fans of these pieces of art, these stories that probably have not heard of these movies. Because I know that these movies are underrated. They
No,
didn't
yeah.
do well at the box office. I know that they have their fans now, but Disney isn't hankering to create merchandise and stuff for these movies because they know, oh, there's not that many fans. It won't create that much money. But maybe if they do live action remakes of these movies, more people will sit down to watch them because, yes, I know some action remakes are not going to make as much money as others, but it's a Disney movie, and people will sit down to watch the newest Disney movie, even if they don't know much about it. So, say they make a live action Treasure Planet. People are going to be like, oh, this is the newest Disney movie. Let's go watch it.
Yeah, and
if
so
it's
like,
good,
I feel like,
then what can go wrong?
yeah.
So
can I say something?
Yeah, you can say something.
So if they were to do, because the Black Cauldron and Night Involved Mountain are like have a lot of darker themes. I feel like there are avenues for them to do it.
They did make Cruella PG-13.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying like there are ways for them to do it now.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why not just do it?
Money. They're afraid that people are not going to go see those movies. Maybe you put them on Disney Plus, like you do with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like with what has happened in the past couple of years, that's definitely like a. Oh yeah, and again, I feel like that's one thing is that people like there have been good movies that have come out and people either they don't make as much money and people call them flops, even though if it's a good movie, it's not really a flop. And there's been good movies out on streaming. Well, it's just like basically movie theaters just want to make the money back, so they can make more stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just like it sucks because one of my favorite movies that came out only on streaming was only on streaming, and I would have paid a ticket which says if you're willing to pay a full price movie ticket to see a movie, that somewhat says a lot. And I would have paid the $15-20 to go see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Disney has this avenue of Disney Plus where it feels like a dumping ground, but if they don't think
that was definitely a dumping ground for Pixar.
We'll see with Elemental. You need to go to the theaters for these Pixar movies, because if you don't, they're going to just be put on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And they will not be getting theatrical releases. So when Elemental comes out June 16th, please go to the theater to go watch it. Because otherwise, we probably will not see another Pixar movie coming to theaters unless if it's Toy Story 5. That will probably be the next one. Because the only Pixar movie that has gotten a theatrical release
since Onward,
before the pandemic started, was Lightyear, which was a prequel essentially of one or the most popular Pixar franchises. So, like I said, please go out to the theater to watch Elemental, because we want these original ideas of Pixar movies in theaters. Same with Disney movies.
Yeah.
That's just another rant I have. But with these live action remakes, and they have done it a couple times now, most recently with Peter Pan and Wendy, they can put them on Disney Plus. It's very easy access for people to watch it then.
Yeah. So like movies have done way like the people thinking that I don't even know how to phrase this, but Encanto didn't do as well in theaters, but it did really well on streaming.
And I think
that's one factor of what's happening.
And I think a huge part of that was TikTok.
Yeah.
Because the word of the movie spread like wildfire on TikTok. That's why it had such a huge popularity. Yes, it didn't do well in theaters because it was only there for a month before it got put on Disney Plus. But then after that, it just did so well. And that could happen with live action remakes of The Black Cauldron, Atlantis, Treasure Planet, you name it. Because if the word spreads on social media, people will watch it. Because I know for myself, if I'm scrolling TikTok or any kind of social media platform and I see something from a show and it looks interesting, I'm probably going to add it to my watch list or watch it right then and there,
Yeah.
even if I've never heard of it before, because I was intrigued. And that could happen with live action remakes. So
Also, I was one of the lucky. I actually did see Encanto in theaters.
I did not. I could have seen it on my
I had
Disney
a
cruise, but I didn't.
a Sunday. There was like a pass where you paid for it, and you could see, within like between September and December, you could see 4 movies for $20 on a Sunday.
That's a really good deal.
That is straight up how I saw Dune. That is
Which
straight
one
up
did
how I know that I saw Dune. And those and $5 for a movie is not that bad. Right now.
At all.
Because
well, yeah, in this economy,
because
not bad at all.
geez, those movie ticket prices are going up. And I feel like that's also a factor because studios are take a certain percentage of the price of the movie ticket and then the theater gets the chump change. So, and that's why popcorn and stuff is so much, is that's essentially how they make the money.
Yeah.
Me going on that.
Well, yeah, because you've worked at a movie theater.
No, I had to work at a movie theater and I had to carry around about 30 bags of popcorn kernels across the theater
Popcorn.
that were like 35 pounds net weight.
See,
Not fun, and I did that by myself.
movie theater popcorn smells so good, and then I'll take a couple bites and I'm like, actually, this is disgusting trash. It makes me throw up. I'm literally one of maybe a couple people that probably think that, but I'm not a big fan of movie theater popcorn. Gotta put it out there. Gotta say it. Any other thoughts you want to add?
Trying to think. Not that I can think of.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. That was our episode on live action remakes. Lots of thoughts were said in this episode because I could go on forever and ever about live action remakes and the pros and cons. But if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, subscribe, share, all of those things. It helps us out so much. Also, you can find us on basically all social media platforms as Film to Screen. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. You can find us anywhere. And until next time, see you at the movies or watching the newest live action remake of a Disney movie. Let me know which one I'm going to be watching. It's a birthday present to me.
Funny.
The Little Mermaid. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? And don't worry, I will not be singing in the theater like that. Mom.
Maybe mouthing it, but yeah.
Maybe crying. No, honestly, I will be crying during Part of Your World. During the reprise, I will be crying.
There is a reprise, I know that. I'll say that.
But they have to do the reprise, of course.
I think it's in the checklist. There is a reprise.
Well, I will be crying in the theater.